Hey everyone, Chris here from FullLifeFreedom.com. Hope you're all doing well, and in this video I'm going to tell you why branding is probably the most important thing you can do for your Merch by Amazon business, and we'll get into it right now. Okay, so what do I mean about branding? Branding, there's three ways you can actually list a shirt in the branding form, which is going to be individual, keyword specific, let's say. Second will be generic branding, and the third way will be niche specific. First way, which is going to be individual and keyword branding, means that every t-shirt that you list is going to have a different brand name. And most people will do this. They're going to try and put keywords in the brand name to try and rank for those extra keywords that can fit in that brand name, the space that you've got given. Is that going to benefit you? Yes, but not a lot. You might be found for an extra keyword somewhere in the search results, what's in your brand, but it's not going to be what you can do or make the most out of it, and I'll explain in a second. Second kind of branding is going to be a generic branding. Now that means, let's say for instance, you think of a brand and it could be called, just for example, the t-shirt brand, and you use that wording, that phrase, the t-shirt brand, that company name, for all of your t-shirts, but it doesn't relate to any particular niche. It's generic, which means if someone's to click on that and go to the portfolio of shirts that you have, all your t-shirts are going to be on everything and anything to do with every type of niche possible, but you're always going to list each and every t-shirt under that generic brand name. What's the benefit of that? Not much really. If anything, it's worse than the first one. But the third one, and the one that I implore everyone to use, is going to be a niche specific brand with keywords in there. So what do I mean by that? Let's say for instance you take dogs as your niche, right? And you list it, and you list, let's say 100 t-shirts, or 100 dog t-shirts that all have the same brand name, which is the dog t-shirt brand or the dog brand. You want all of them to be related back to the brand, and I'm going to get into three benefits as to why that's the most important way to go about branding for the rest of your t-shirts and build up portfolios being niche specific. So we'll start now. Okay, the first direct benefit that's going to happen is going to be that when people click onto your t-shirt, let's say it's a dog t-shirt, well, what's going to happen, you already know, or the person that has clicked on that t-shirt is already at that point interested in dogs, or at least have some level of interest. So what does that mean? If they click onto your brand name, which will open them up to all the t-shirts that relate onto that specific niche, so it'll open up a portfolio of t-shirts you have, all of which are going to be on dogs, for instance, just for an example in this case, then what are the chances of that purchaser, or who clicked on the first shirt, is going to like more shirts that you've got to offer? Probably pretty high. So them converting into a multiple purchase customer is going to go a hell of a lot further than it would do otherwise if you was to just have a generic portfolio of array of t-shirts that are in all different topics, niches and subjects that they're on. So it's going to increase conversions if you have a niche specific brand. That's the first and foremost. Now let's get into the second kind of benefit for it. If you have a brand, and let's say you have 100 t-shirts in this brand, and you've got 100 t-shirts all in the dog related niche, and 100 t-shirts related to that specific market and that type of customer who are going to be passionate and love dogs. Well, once they click on a listing, there's a couple of side benefits here, which is down below the product, you're going to have recently purchased items or customers who recently purchased similar items. What's going to show up there, which is going to be an image, multiple images, is going to be your brand's products 9 times out of 10. If you've had purchases from that brand, they're going to show up and recommend them to that customer, because Amazon's algorithm knows that if they like that particular t-shirt, chances are they're going to like the rest of your t-shirts that have already been sold previously to other customers. So you're going to get more exposure that way. Does that work? Yes, it does. It is obviously not going to be every single person that sees them are going to make a secondary purchase on another shirt. But what's it going to do in the long run? It's going to increase your sales over the long period of time. And obviously, I know you don't expect to be doing merch, for the next 3 months. I imagine typically most people are going to want to be doing this for the next year, 2 years, 3 years, for the foreseeable future. So that's one added benefit. Another added benefit, what a lot of people don't actually know with the algorithm with Merch by Amazon, and just Amazon in general actually, that has helped me for many years that I've been selling on Amazon, for at least the last 3 years, is that the more products that you have filtering back to the main brand or the main keyword, let's say for instance, and they're all related, well, what that does, when Amazon indexes your shirts for the search algorithm for your keywords, well, it's going to actually increase your keywords for whatever you're trying to be found for on individual products. This one's quite an hard one to explain, but the best way I can do it, or at least I'll give it my best shot, because I come from an SEO background and I've since I was 22 years old many years ago. So, and it's similar to Google. It's not the same, but it's similar. Now, the way, and backlinking. Now, the way it works is, let's say for instance, you have 100 t-shirts listed that all have the keyword dog in those t-shirts. Well, it's on a point system. The way you get ranked on Amazon is kind of like a points system. So I'm going to give them the best shot to explain to you here, but it's going to benefit you in the long run. Let's say, for instance, for every individual shirt that you have, you get 1 point for having the keyword dog in those individual shirts, right? Because you want to be ranked for that keyword. Well, if they are all linked with the same brand, let's say the dog brand that you've listed, just as an example, and they're all linked and they all fall under the dog brand, and they're all related and linked back to that main portfolio of under the brand, the dog brand, what happens is you start stacking up points on each individual shirt, which are all filtering back upwards to the dog brand at the top. So you're giving yourself more of a boost for the dog brand as a whole, the more items you list under that brand name. What that means is that for any future listings ongoing that are listed in the dog brand, you're going to have an affiliation for the rest of the t-shirts. So what you're going to actually do is have more upside for the shirts that you keep pumping out in the future under that brand, and they're going to rank higher up because you'll have built an index system that is all linking to the dog brand, and that is going to over time be built up so that dog brand is going to be seen as a valuable brand in the search algorithm, if that makes sense. Basically, in a nutshell and in summary, is that if the more shirts you have under a specific one brand, the better they're going to rank for their individual keywords. I suppose I could have kept it short like that. So the more things that you have under the brand, the better they're going to do over the long term for their keywords that you're trying to get them found for, if that makes sense. It's how, to some extent, backlinking works with Google. The more reputable a website is linked to another website, it increases both websites on the search algorithms and rankings on Google. Now, that's probably one of the best benefits, because you're going to get more exposure for every single one of your t-shirts, not just the individual ones ongoing, and it's going to give you more exposure for the brand on the search results for Amazon. Not a lot of people know that, but that's how it works. Let's get into the third point. Now, social media. Now, what do I mean by brand? Social media. Well, as far as social media and brand, what you need to be doing, and if you haven't already done, rather than trying to post, publish and go live with 100 different types of niche, individual, specific t-shirts, just build up 2 or 3 brands and build up a social media following. Yes, most people know about this. Most people will have already had the idea or have toyed with the idea and thought about it. Typically, most people don't do it. Why? Because they think it's too much hard work. What they don't see, because they've never seen the benefits that would come from building a social media following related to a specific niche or brand or topic or whatever it may be. What I can say is I've got on Instagram now, you can have, I think it's 2, 3, 4, 5, I think it's about 5 Instagram accounts. It used to be 3, I think, but I have 5, put it that way now. 5 Instagram accounts that are niche related to a specific topic. Now, let's say for instance, you start growing a following on Facebook or Instagram that solely posts pictures, fantastic pictures of dogs, and you start accumulating followers to that page and that account. Well, what that does, and this is the benefit of social media, it gives you and you'll know this, but it gives you direct access to a customer base, or potential customer base, should I say, that you can market to on freely at any given time, any given day that you want. Obviously, there's certain right ways and wrong ways to go about it, and how often you post and what you should promote. But if you build a passionate following that loves the niche that the account is about, you're almost on a win-win. I have sold literally a fair few thousand t-shirts over the past 18 months, I'd say. Nearly 2 years, maybe. Literally a few thousand t-shirts just by posting a single picture and saying, I've got a new t-shirt out, or check this new t-shirt out, to a passionate audience about a specific niche. It's almost, obviously it's a bit of a stupid term, but printing money is a stupid term to put, but it's almost like that. Because for every, let's say, promotion you do on a new t-shirt that you go live with, to, let's say if you've got an audience of 10,000 followers, 20,000, 30,000, which is going to take time to obviously build up, but it can be done. I've done it multiple times. It just takes work and a bit of elbow grease to do. But the upside of it is going to be massive, because you can then promote as and when you feel like and get sales from that. Are you going to get floods of sales? No. But you can almost get maybe an extra 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 sales within minutes, within a few hours of a promotion, of a listing or a post that you put out there on a new t-shirt. It becomes to the point where at least you're never going to be struggling for sales if you start building up social media accounts. So you always want to enclose a follower base, an audience that you can directly promote to, and that are passionate. I know I've said this a couple of times, but they need to be in love with that niche and that personal interest or hobby or whatever it may be. That is how you have a branding kind of 360 around, so that you're always getting sales, whether it be on Amazon, whether it be on social media, but at least you'll never run dry of sales if you start building brands. Also, it builds up your credibility, and that's not to be taken lightly. People are more likely to buy from you if you have a social proof following of 10, 5, 10, 15,000 people following your account. It's going to be social proof, you can have engagement, and all you need to do is just post out as and when you get a new t-shirt live related to that niche, and sales will come in if your following is passionate and big enough for that particular niche. Anyway, guys, I hope this helps. It's the most important thing I consider to be for you to consider to do with Merch by Amazon. For the people out there that are actually just posting shirts and thinking that the brand name that they should be putting up at the top of a listing just has to be keyword specific and just have keywords in it relating to the t-shirt and the keywords that they're trying to go after, build a brand that has the keyword in it. The dog brand, let's say for instance, if you're going to start putting out dog t-shirts, stop trying to optimize your listings solely for the purpose of keyword rankings. The more beneficial route to go would be to build a portfolio under the one brand that you can sell to the multiple items and multiple shirts to the same customer. That's how I used to. That's how I used to do it on Kindle. Still do. That's how I started, should I say, and then that ultimately gave me a six-figure annual income within a year. So, a few years back. So, I hope that helps, guys. It's just something that I thought I'd give you a little 2 cents on, and put it to use. It'll pay off in the long run. Might not happen overnight, building social media accounts in a large portfolio, but 6 months down the line, it's going to work for you nonetheless. So anyway, guys, hope that's good. If you like that, give me a thumbs up. I'd appreciate it, and it'd really mean a lot to me if you subscribe. I'll see you soon on the next one, guys. Cheers.